All right, we good to go. Okay, right. We don't get that distraction. All right, bet. So, any questions? Y'all want to go over? Homework question. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Got you, I got you. Have you been getting all the messages from Brightspace? Have you seen all the updates? So there's a link there for all the classes, so you can rewatch everything that you missed. Yeah, yeah. You're welcome. Welcome. By the way. Yeah, just write your name for attendance. But yeah. Y'all want to go over a homework question? We can. Not from today though. I mean, like the other stuff. Yeah. Now, if you log in, it's still there. Like the homework doesn't disappear; it'll still be there if you log in. So today's what, Tuesday? Yeah. So let me ask y'all something. What's happening tomorrow? What's happening on campus? Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely there. What is it located at? Low hall, lower level. Low hall, yeah. You remember where you did admissions, that building? Yeah, first floor. So just go down the stairs. Different. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did take a Yep. It's all day. You just gotta but you gotta register. You gotta fill out that form, right? And then you gotta like choose your appointment time and all that. It's in the announcement. You see it? Brightspace, like on the side. It's right. It's right there. It's right there in the announcement for this class. Yeah. I mean, they do send you an email, but I put the actual form. Yeah. This attendance not looking too strong. I mean, maybe some people's running late because they know it's like recorded and all that. It is what it is. So right now I'm just copying down some questions from a homework. Wait. I'm sorry? The online homework? No, I want it to be in-person student. Yeah. And online via Zoom. Yeah. That those times are the in-person and the online at the same time. Yeah. Let me just read this one. So it says solve each equality and express your answers in the form x equals blank. So for example, if the solution is 7, it's x equals 7, not just 7. All right, cool. I think it might be the way I typed it in. I don't know. Oh, that shit in. For real? So I'm just like looking at number 1 real quick, right? I'm gonna just answer this in rainbow colors. So for number 1, I'm trying to solve for x, right? So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get rid of the numbers that are next to it. So I'm gonna subtract 4 from over here. But what I do to one side of the equation, I gotta do to the other side of the equation, right? So I'm gonna subtract 4 from over here. Bless you. So now I have what? I have negative x is equal to what? 11, right? So am I right about that? All right. After that, I want to divide by the negative to get x positive, and what I do to one side, I do to the other. So final answer for this, x is equal to negative 11. And that's it. All right. So the thing about that question, you got to get all four of them right to get it right. Yeah. You had some that was green? Oh, okay, good. I don't know. Some questions are like that. Was green? All right, so there you go then. The next question, right? I have x minus 4 is equal to negative 15, right? So now I want to get x by itself. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to add 4 over here to get rid of that negative 4. But what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to add 4 over here. I'm going to do it horizontally because of space, right? So my final answer over here is going to be what? It's going to be x is equal to, what's this, negative 11? Something like that, right? After that, now I'm going to the third question, right? So I have negative 4 minus x is equal to negative 15. Again, I want to solve for x. I want x by itself. So I'm going to add 4 over here to get rid of the 4. But what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation, right? So I'm going to add 4 over here. So now what do I have? I have negative x is equal to negative 11. But the thing is though, right? I got to make my x positive. So I'm going to divide by that negative right there. But what I do to one side, I got to do to the other. So final answer over here, x is equal to 11. All right. Last one, I have 4 plus x equals 15. I'm going to subtract 4 over here to get x by itself. What I do to one side, I do to the other. So final answer, x is equal to 11. And that's it. Yeah. Sometimes the homework is that easy. You know, same answer, just one more. You got a fraction? Yes, say it to me again. X plus 3 over 4. Okay. 1 over 20 like this. Okay. So long story short, you want to get x by itself, right? So you're going to subtract by the 3 over 4. All right? Subtract by the 3 over 4 over here. But what you do to one side of the equation, you got to do to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to subtract 3 over 4 over here. And then it's basically done. You know, in order for me to subtract, gotta have the same denominator, right? So my LCD here is what? It's 20, right? So how do I change this 4 into a 20? Not 4, by 5, right? So multiply this by 5. But what I do to the bottom, I gotta do to the top, right? So now what do I have, right? I'm just gonna do it right underneath, right? I have negative 1 over 20 minus 15 over 20. Now, negative 1 minus 15 is what? Yeah, minus 1. Yeah, negative 1 minus 15. What's that? Negative 16, right? So this becomes negative 16 over 20, right? And then after that, we want to maybe reduce it a little bit, right? So I can reduce these by 4. So I know that 4 goes into negative 16, negative 4 times, and 4 goes into 20, what, 5 times? Final answer, negative 4 over 5. And that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Another way to have done this would have been to just, what you call it, get the LCD for all of it, or you could just treat it as a number the way I did and then just simplify it down to that. Yeah. That's that. Any other questions? Still on the basics. We haven't gotten advanced yet. Yeah. Go ahead. ZX. Okay. Interesting. What are they asking you for? So solve for Z? Oh, that's late. So if you got 19 hx squared here, you're gonna subtract m from over here. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So now what do you have? You have 1/8 zx is equal to 1/9 hx squared minus m, right? And then let's simplify that down a little bit. I'm just gonna call this zx/8 is equal to hx squared over 9 minus m, right? And then, I'm sorry? No, say it again? Even more simple than that, divide by what you don't want. I don't want that x/8, right? But what I do to one side of the equation, have to do to the other side of the equation. X/8. That's literally the answer. But we gotta simplify this down probably to like put it in, right? So let's call this m/1, right? Because in order to subtract, I have to have the same denominator. So what's my LCD on the top? 9, right? So I'm gonna multiply this by 9. What I do to the bottom, I gotta do to the top. So now what do I have? Hx squared over 9 minus 9m over 9, right? I could write that now as its own fraction. I should have done that before. Hold on, let me do that instead, right? Minus 9m, right? Over 9, boom. And this is still x/8. And you already know, right? Keep, change, flip, right? So this is gonna be hx squared minus 9m over 9 times, flip that, 8 over x. So, yeah, just multiply straight across. So by the way, this all still equals z, by the way. So this, you could just call this, we could distribute that if you want to do that. And then say 8hx squared minus, what's 9 times 8 again? It's like 72 or something? Yeah, 72m. I feel you. I'm over here trying to figure it out too. 9x and then that equals z. So there. Yeah. That's all right. So you just type it in. Yep, that's the answer. Because the question was to just solve for z. That's all that was. Yeah. Okay. So to put this in on the computer, you would do open parentheses, right? Actually, you don't even have to do this because, yeah, you have a fraction button on the side, right? For web work, the one that looks like this, you just click that and just type it in. That's it. And then to get the square, right? This would be AH. There's a yeah, shifting the number 6, right? So you're looking for this symbol on your keyboard, right? Yeah. And then that's gonna raise that to the second power. And then just minus 72m over 9x. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. It's all good. Let's see, any other questions? Good? Good? It's all right. Okay, just watch the videos, try the homework, like no penalty for trying a question. You can try it as much until you get 100, it's all good. If you guys have time, I highly recommend going to tutoring. It's fun. You can go there, knock out your homework. You can come as a group. You don't even got to go by yourself. You know, like, and you don't have to have a question to go to tutoring. You can just literally just go there and do your homework. That's cool. Yeah. I was actually just coming from tutoring before class. Mm-hmm. So I have a morning class, and then a morning class ends at like 11:30. So then I go over to tutoring, and then I stay there till about 1. Then I come over. Yeah, you could have just came through. Yeah, even if you just want to chill, see the place, it's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah, just come through. On Thursdays, on yeah, on Thursdays, if y'all, I know we have class online. Y'all could go in the tutor lab and do y'all class. Just bring y'all headphones, do your thing right there. Yeah, you change it to what? Yeah, it's in person today, and then online on Thursdays. Yeah, but I promise you, online is not that bad though. Man. It's pretty good. Yeah, I got you. I mean, you can come to tutoring in person and then go over it. Yeah, please. Yeah, please. Yeah, I'm actually there all day on Monday, so we can work together if you want. Yeah. Yeah, I got you. I got you. It's not a hard subject to grasp. Yeah. Yeah, that's no worries, man. And like I said, you can try your homework, so that could be a repeat too. There's no penalty for trying a question. If you get it wrong, it's okay. Just keep going till you get it right. All right, let's jump into today's lesson. But before we do that, real quick, I just want to do a little blast on the past. So I want y'all to translate this for me in English. 15 over 15 is greater than X. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's X here. So 15 greater than X. Yep. Well done. All right, let me see if y'all can do the reverse now, right? See if y'all can do the reverse. This one not that. That'll be there too, don't worry. What about this one? So, so tell me what's right. 15 is less than X. What do I write? Wait. Like, tell me what's right. That's what I'm trying to say. 13, and then just that arrow just flip. Okay. So 15, you're saying flip the arrows like this? Yeah. Like that? Nope, that's wrong. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And then what? Greater than? Why greater than? Right. Okay, good. Nah, it kind of doesn't matter. It kind of doesn't matter. Yeah. All right, so this is what we're gonna really get into today. We're gonna graph inequalities on the number line. Yay! All right. So what number would make the inequality x greater than 3 true? Are you thinking x could be 4? That's correct. but X could be 6, 2, or 37, or even 3.001. Any number greater than 3 is a solution to the equality X is greater than 3. We show all the solutions to the inequality X greater than 3 on the number line by shading in all of the numbers to the right of 3 to show that all numbers greater than 3 are solutions. Because the number 3 itself is not a solution, we put an open parentheses at 3, right? So this might be a little bit hard to see. Let me just do this in pink real quick. So this is what they're trying to say. We're going to open parentheses right here, and we're shading that way, right? We can also represent inequalities using interval notation. There is no upper end to the solution to this inequality. In interval notation, we express, X greater than 3 as 3 to infinity, right? So from 3 to infinity. The symbol infinity is read as infinity. It is not an actual number, right? And this is your number line right here, right? So for X greater than 3, we have our numbers laid out right here. We want to go from 3 to infinity, right? And in interval notation, this is how you write it, 3 to infinity with the parentheses, because 3 is not included in our evaluation, right? Okay. So we use the left parenthesis symbol to show that the endpoint of the inequality is not included. The left bracket symbol, right, bracket, shows the endpoint is included, right? So parentheses not included, bracket is included, right? The inequality X less than or equal to 1 means that all numbers less than or equal to 1. Here, we need to show that 1 is a solution to. We do that by putting a bracket at X equals 1. We then shade in all the numbers to the left of 1 to show that all numbers less than 1 are solutions, right? There is no lower end to these numbers. So we write X less than or equal to 1 in interval notation as open parentheses, negative infinity, comma 1, with a bracket, right? Because we're including 1. The symbol negative infinity is read as negative infinity, and boom. This is the graph that we have here. Just to kind of highlight what's going on, this is a bracket, all right? Then I'm shading it, and that's that, all right? So that's negative infinity to 1. Go ahead. Open circle, closed circle, yeah. I feel like it's just easier to just use the bracket and the parenthesis though, right? Yeah. It's the same thing. You know, but you're right. Closed circle is the same thing as the bracket, right? And open circle is the same thing as the parenthesis. You know? I'm just trying to make it easier, you know? Oh, yeah. Back in the day, like I remember high school, it was like that real quick. Before we move on, just to recap real quick a little bit. All right. So we got inequalities, a double line, and interval notation, right? So if we have X is greater than some number, let's call it A, right? That's gonna go from A to infinity, right? So we do a parentheses right here, parentheses, and then we just shade to the right, right? So that's for some number to infinity, right? If we have X is greater than or equal to some number, let's call it A, right? We're gonna put a bracket, right? And we just go shade to the right, shade to the right, right? And that represents A to infinity when A is included, right? If we have X is less than A being some number, right? We're gonna have from negative infinity to A. So we're gonna have a close parentheses and then It's gonna shade to the right, just like that. All right? And then if we have x is less than or equal to a, right? We're gonna have a bracket, right? And then it's gonna shade to the left, right? And that's for negative infinity up to a where a is included. Questions on this? No questions? Okay. All right, so the notation for inequalities on a number line, on a number line, and in interval notation use the same symbols to express the endpoints of the intervals, right? Same symbol, same endpoints. Don't make it up, just copy. All right. Let's try this out. So in this example, right, we want to graph each inequality on the number line and write an interval notation, right? So basically, I just want y'all to answer this, right? So I have A, right? Hold on. Like my rainbow, right? So X is greater than or equal to -3, right? So I want to draw the number line, right? For me, how I draw the number line, I just put whatever I'm working with in the middle on the -3, and I just put some numbers to the left, some numbers to the right of it, right? So this would be like what? -4, -5, -2, -1, maybe 0, right? Now, this is greater than or equal to 3, so I know that I'm going to be going to the right, right? I'm going to the positive side, so right over here. That's my shaded right there. That's my shaded. All right? That's my shaded. Right? But it's equal to. It's equal to, right? So boom. Bracket. Just like that, right? Now in interval notation, right? I'm going from -3 to infinity. -3 is going to have a bracket because it's included, because it's equal. Parentheses for the infinity. And that's it. Questions on that? Did I lose y'all or it makes sense? It makes sense. Let's try B. B's a little bit harder. So I got X less than 2.5. Right? X is less than 2.5. So I'm going to make my number line right here. Right? Now I'm just going to put the 2.5 right in the middle. I'm just put some numbers to the left and some numbers to the right of it. Right? So I'm going to put like 3 here, 4 here, 5 here. You get the idea. I'm going to put like 1 here. We'll put like, I don't know, 0 here. You get the idea, right? And then now I want less than 2.5, right? So put this right here. So less than 2.5 is going to be over here. That's my shade right there. That's my shade, right? And then also, this is not equal to, right? So it's going to be a parentheses. So boom, just like that, right? And then put it in interval notation. This is going to be open parentheses, -infinity, all the way up to 2.5. But 2.5 is not included because this is not equal to. So you just close parentheses and that's it. Questions on this? Right. Right. The parentheses when it's not equal to. Yeah. All right, real quick, let me just grab the last one. So that's less than or equal to -3/5. 1 second. I'm just trying to pick a color. All right. So I got for C, X is less than or equal to. I'm sorry? Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you looked at it already? Okay, okay. All right. So for this question, X is less than or equal to -3/5, right? I'll make my number line right here. I'm just gonna put the -3/5 right there. Then I'm just gonna throw some numbers to the right of it, some numbers to the left of it, right? 3/5, I'm thinking about, it should be what, 0, maybe 1, maybe 2 over here. And then this could be like what? -1, -2, maybe like -3. Good enough, right? And then I want it to be less than or equal to, right? So let me change my color real quick. What's a nice color that's gonna pop? Let's go pink, right? So I'm just gonna shade over here. That's my shade right there. Less than or equal to. So this is gonna be what? A bracket. Just like that, right? Interval notation, right? This is gonna be open parentheses, negative infinity, all the way up to the -3/5, where the -3/5 is included in using a bracket. And that's it. Questions on this? Y'all good? Right. So infinities always get parentheses. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
I just have two mock questions on my own.
Yeah.
Are these two correct? So it was
Less than 5.
less than 5, then it was 5. Infinity goes this
Yeah,
way.
and then there'll be a parentheses here.
Then so negative
Yeah.
parentheses into 5.
Perfect.
And then I tried the other one, which was this is C. This one's another
Yeah.
one. X
And you have the
is
bracket
greater
here.
than
Perfect.
7 bracket.
Perfect. 2.5. Hold on. Because we have X less than 2.5.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever it's equal to, then you get a bracket. But without equal to, you get a parentheses. Yeah. All right, you guys try one. Yeah. So try that one real quick. Sure. I want to like make it so that you guys can see the example, but yeah, that helps. Go ahead. While y'all doing that, I can edit this a little bit. It's like I want like this have light and dark, and I want like that light and this dark. So before you guys do the way it is right now. For me, I look at the screen, I see a little bit of glare from the window. Does it bother anybody? Numbers for this? Three over four. When you look at the recording on your computer, it's gonna be bigger. Like it'll look perfect actually. Let's see. That's good. Yeah, that's good. All right, let's take a look. So, hey, how are you? I have x greater than 2, right? So we're gonna draw a number line. I'm just gonna hit 2 in the middle, put some numbers to the right, some numbers to the left of it. Let's call this 3, call that 4. Let's call this 1, let's call this 0, you get the idea. Greater than 2, right? Let's switch my color real quick. So greater than 2 is gonna be all the numbers to the right, right? We're just gonna shade that, right? And then this is gonna have what? A parentheses. That's it. Interval notation, right? So I wanna go greater than 2, so I wanna start at 2. I wanna go to what? Infinity, right? This is gonna be a parentheses and a parentheses. That's it. All right. Oh, by the way, we're doing the homework and you had like an infinity situation. Infinity is spelled INV. That's an F. Right? No, wait. No, INF. What am I talking about? INF, yeah. That's how you enter an infinity for your homework. Yeah. Just let y'all know. But on the right hand side, there should be like a little bar thing there that you can click it as well if you don't want to go through all that. Yeah. INF. Yeah. So I got X less than or equal to negative 1.5. Not too bad, right? Take my number line right here. I'm just gonna throw negative 1.5 in the middle, right? I'll throw some numbers to the right, some numbers to the left of that, right? So let's say what? Negative 1, let's call this 0. Let's call this positive 1. Let's call this negative 2. Let's call this negative 3. You get the idea, right? Now I want X less than or equal to negative 1.5, right? So I'm just gonna shade this. Let me choose a color real quick. We'll go with BCC green. So we're gonna shade over here, right? Now this is less than or equal to, so you already know bracket, right? Now let's say I want to do this in interval notation. I'm going from negative infinity up to the 1.5. So open parentheses, negative infinity, comma, up to the 1.5, excuse me, the negative 1.5, right? And then we're gonna have a bracket. That's it. All right. Last one. I have X greater than or equal to 3/4. X greater than or equal to 3/4. Sorry, I was just choosing the color that way. That was what the pause was about. Yeah. The decimal doesn't determine if I'm using a bracket or not. It's the question itself. So like this one right here, this question says X is greater than 3/4. So that's what's gonna give me a bracket for this answer. Right, it's whatever they ask you. Like they're gonna tell you what to do. Like you don't have to make it up. I'm gonna just call this a 3/4 right here. Then I'm gonna throw some numbers to the right, throw some numbers to the left, right? Let's get like I don't know, 1, 2, that should be good enough. Let's get 0, -1, -2. Call it a day at that. Oh, excuse me. Right? Now I want all the numbers greater than 3/4, right? So greater than 3/4 is gonna be to the right. Just like that. Because it's equal to, we're gonna have a bracket. Right? Excuse me. And then that's it. Right? In interval notation, I'm going from 3/4 to infinity. So this is gonna be what? Open bracket, 3/4, comma, infinity, close parentheses. And that's it. Questions on it? Good? By the way, if you guys are bored, like, we'll knock out your homework. Like, that's probably the whole lesson for the day. I have more to talk about, but you guys get the gist of it. I mean, if you're bored, you know? So what numbers are greater than 2, but less than 5? Are you thinking, say, 2.5, 3, 3, and 2/3, 4, 4.99? We can represent all the numbers between 2 and 5 for the inequality, with the inequality 2 less than x less than 5. We can show 2 less than x less than 5 on the number line by shading in all the numbers between the 2 and the 5. Again, we use parentheses to show the numbers 2 and 5 are not included. So, just to illustrate, this is a parentheses right here. So we're shading in between. That's it. Okay. This one, we want to graph each inequality on the number line and write in interval notation. So same process as before, nothing crazy, right? Let's look at A. I have -3 less than x less than 4. All right, -3 less than x less than 4. So I'm gonna do this on a number line. Now for sure, I need a -3 here and I need a 4 here. I didn't do this right. I'm gonna try and make this as best as I can. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. All right, you get the idea. 5, 6, -4, -5. Y'all get the idea. All right. So now I'm gonna have parentheses, right? At the -3 and at the 4, and I'm gonna shade in between. And that's it, right? If I'm showing you this in interval notation, this is gonna be open parentheses, -3, comma 4. And that's it. So that represents all the numbers from -3 up to 4. I'm sorry? Well, yeah, I never write the X in interval notation. Yeah, it's always just the numbers. So for B, I have -6 less than or equal to X less than -1. It's a little bit of a mix right here, right? Good. So I'm gonna have my -6 right here, -1, -5, -4, -3, -2. You get the idea. 0, -7, -8. Okay. We good. Okay. So at -6, right? I'm gonna have a bracket because -6 is included. At -1, though, I'm gonna have a parentheses. And then what do I want to do? I want to shade in between them. All right. And that's it. That's it in the graph, right? In interval notation, right? I'm going from what to what? I'm going from -6, right? Bracket to -1, open parentheses. That's it. Questions on this? You good? Okay. I think there's one more. So we have 0 to 2.5. So we have 0, less than or equal to X, less than or equal to 2.5. All right. So if I'm drawing my number line, I want 0, 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 5. You get the idea. -1, -2, -3. Okay. So I'm going from 0 to 2.5, right? But 0 and 2.5 are included, so this is going to be a bracket. So bracket 0, bracket of 2.5, we're just going to shade in between. And that's it. All right. Interval notation, I'm going from 0, so open parentheses, 0, up to 2.5, close parentheses. That's it. Questions on this? Yeah. Okay. You guys try. Summary. Let's find out this problem real quick. Rapid, linear acid interval rotation. All right, let's take a look. So for A, you're gonna graph this, right? Want to go from -2 to 1. So right, you get the idea. So that being said, at -2, I'm gonna have a parentheses. At 1, I'm gonna have a parentheses. We're just gonna shade in between. That's it. Right? Interval notation. Open parentheses, I'm going from -2 to 1. That's it. Questions on that? Good. All right. B, right? B is my favorite all day. I'm gonna go from -5 to -4. Let's call it a day at that. Right? We're gonna have a bracket at -5. We're gonna have a parentheses at -4. And just shade in between. Right? I'm doing this in interval notation. I'm going from bracket -5 to 4 parentheses. That's it. -4. Questions on that? Awesome. That's what's up. I'm happy. We still in the hard part of the class, by the way, so we in the hard part of the class still. Like, yeah, we didn't get to the easy part yet. Yeah. It's not bad. Yeah. All right, that's good. So for this one, I want to go from 1 to 4.25. Let's add some numbers in between. 2, 3, you get the idea. 5, 0, -1. Okay, whatever. I want to go from 1 to 4.25, right? From 1 to 4.25, hold on. Brackets, right? So from 1 to 4.25 bracket, shade in between. And that's it. I was gonna do this interval notation, open parentheses, 1 to 4.25, close bracket. Questions? Yeah. No, I'm asking if you have a question.
I just want to see the question.
Oh, my fault. I'm sorry. There you go. Sorry about that. All right. We all good. Next thing we want to do, we want to solve linear inequalities. All right. Linear inequality is much like a linear equation, but the equal sign is replaced with an inequality sign. A linear inequality is an inequality in one variable that can be written in one of the forms. Ax plus b is less than c. Ax plus b is less than or equal to c. Ax plus b is greater than c, or ax plus b is greater than or equal to c. So we're going to solve linear inequalities. A linear inequality is an inequality in one variable that can be written in one of the following forms, where a, b, and c are real numbers and a cannot equal 0. Ax plus b is less than c, ax plus b is less than or equal to c, ax plus b is greater than c, and ax plus b is greater than or equal to c. Okay? So when we solve linear equations, we were able to use the properties of equalities to add, subtract, multiply, or divide both sides and still keep the equality. Similar properties hold true for inequalities. Right? We can add or subtract the same quantity from both sides of an inequality and still keep the inequality. For example, -4 less than 2, -4 minus 5 less than 2 minus 5, and -9 is less than -3, which is true, right? Also, you have -4 is less than 2. -4 plus 7 is less than 2 plus 7. 3 is less than 9, which is true. So notice that the inequality signs say the same. This leads us to the addition and subtraction property of inequalities. Right. This it goes back to what I'm always saying. What you do to one side, you gotta do to the other. That's what this is basically saying. You know? So addition and subtraction property of inequalities. For any number, A, B, and C, if A is less than B, then A plus C is less than B plus C. And A minus C is less than B minus C. For any numbers A, B, and C, if A is greater than B, then A plus C is greater than B plus C, and A minus C is greater than B minus C. We can add or subtract the same quantity from both sides of an inequality and still keep the inequality. All right? Which is the one side, this is the other. Okay. What happens to inequality when we divide or multiply both sides by a constant? Let's first multiply and divide both sides by a positive number. So 10 is less than 15. We'll multiply both sides by 5. 50 is less than 75, which is true. 10 less than 15, let's divide both sides by 5. So 10 divided by 5 is less than 15 divided by 5. 2 is, in fact, less than 3, which is true. So the inequality sign stayed the same. So I want you guys to notice. All right? Yeah. Yeah. So does the inequality sign, excuse me, does the inequality stay the same when we divide, multiply, or divide, right? 10 less than 15. 10 times negative 5, is that less than 15 times negative 5? Negative 50 is actually greater than negative 75. So notice that, right? When I have 10 is less than 15, I'm going to divide by negative 5. So 10 divided by negative 5, 15 divided by negative 5. Negative 2, right, is greater than negative 3. So notice that when we flipped the, when we filled in the inequality sign reversed their direction. So long story short, if I multiply or divide by a negative, I flip the inequality sign. Less than becomes greater than, or vice versa, greater than becomes less than, right? Whenever you multiply by a negative or divide by a negative. So when we divide or multiply an inequality by a positive number, the inequality sign stays the same. When we divide or multiply an inequality by a negative number, the inequality sign reverses. Remember that. This gives us the multiplication division property of inequalities. Lots of vocab today. Lots and lots of vocab. But necessary still. All right, so multiplication division property of inequality. So for any numbers A, B, and C, multiply or divide by a positive. If A is less than B and C is greater than 0, then A times C is less than B times C, and A over C is less than B over C. if A is greater than B and C is greater than 0, then A times C is greater than B times C, and A over C is greater than B over C. Multiply or divide by a negative. If A less than B and C less than 0, right? Then A times C is greater than B times C, and A over C is greater than B over C. If A is greater than B and C is less than 0, then A times C is less than B times C, and A over C is less than B over C. Basic, right? When we divide or multiply an inequality by a positive number, the inequality stays the same. Negative number, the inequality reverses. Sometimes when solving an inequality, as in the next chapter, the variable ends upon the right, we can rewrite the inequality in reverse to get the valuable, to get the variable to that left, right? So X is greater than A has the same meaning as A is less than X. Think about it as if Xander is taller than Andy, then Andy is shorter than Xander. Basically, right? Same thing. So this next question is something similar that I feel like somebody asked me earlier. You guys try these. Try those out. Solve for X and then do it. Or whatever variable you have. Solve for the variable that you have. Give y'all a minute. Okay. We have X minus 3/8 is less than or equal to 3/4, right? So long story short, solve for X. What you gotta do, solve for X. Exactly. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So now you have X is less than or equal to, right? So this is 3/4 plus 3/8. Same denominator, right? 8. So how do I change that 4 to an 8? Times 2, right? Well, what I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So now what do I have? 6 plus 3 over 8, right? Which is what? 9 over 8. And you already know, little number line. Right? And then this is less than or equal to, right? So we're gonna shade to the left, right? And then we're just gonna have a bracket. Call it a day. And then this is also, so what? 9 over 8. Very good. All right. Questions on this or it makes sense? All right. So 9y less than 54, what am I gonna do? 9y is less than 54, what am I gonna do? By what? Very good. So now what do I have? Y is less than 6. Good. You already know. Make a little number line. All right. So now it's less than 6, so I'm gonna shade to the left. Right? And then 6 is gonna have what? Parentheses. Question on that. So I have negative 15 is less than 3 over 5. It's supposed to be a z. I'm trying here. All right? What do I do? I didn't put it into a notation? Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. So this should be what? So open parentheses, what? Negative infinity to 6, right? Remember, I'm going to the left, right? So, yeah. All right, so I'm looking at C now. So the infinity sign is going to be negative every time it goes to the left. Exactly. And always a parentheses, never a bracket. Right. So I got negative 15 less than 3 over 5 z. What am I gonna do? Not subtract. Not add. Divide by what? Very good. And what I do to one side, I gotta do to the other. And that's it. All right? So I have keep change flip, negative 15 over 1 times, what's this, 5 over 3, right? Is less than Z, right? Multiply straight across, what do I have? This is what, 1, and this is 3, right? And then negative 3 times 5 is what? Negative 15, less than Z. Trying here with the Z. Questions? Oh, I didn't even write the interval notation. I'm sorry again. So this would be all that negative 15, negative 14, negative 16, right? I'm going to shade where? So instead of right, right? With the parentheses. Questions? So keep change flip and then multiply straight across. Yeah. I reduced it because I'm not as good as math as you guys are. I need tricks to get by in life. Got you. And I think I owe you guys one last. Let's see, what's this? Domain, so from negative 15 to infinity. All right. Try it. Anytime you have All right, let's check this out. For A, I got P minus 3/4 greater than or equal to 1/6. What am I gonna do here? You're fine. No problem. Add what? 3/4. Exactly. What I do to one side, go to the other. So now I have P is greater than or equal to 1/6 plus 3/4. What do I do after that? The LCD, right? Same denominator. Just 12, right? So how do I change a 6 into a 12? Very good. What do I do to the bottom, do to the top? How do I change a 4 into 12? There's 3, right? So what do I do to the bottom? I do to the top. So now what do I have? P greater than or equal to 2 plus, what's that, 9/12? Let's call that 11/12. I agree. So P greater than or equal to 11/12. And then you already know. I'm just gonna be lazy, 11/12. It's gonna be what, greater than, so this way. Or equal to, so it's gonna be a bracket. All right? Let's look at B. They have 9C is greater than, sorry about that. It's greater than 72. What am I gonna do? By what? No, 9, okay. What we do to one side, we do to the other. So now I have C is what? Okay. Not less than. Greater than, right? So I only flip the sign whenever I divide or multiply by a negative. Right? So whenever it's a negative number that I'm dividing by or multiplying, that's when I flip the sign. Right? Okay. C is greater than 8, right? So you already know this is 8. Over here is 9, etc. Over here is 7, etc. This is going to be greater than, so I'm just going to shade over here. Parentheses, right? Interval notation, I'm going from 8 to infinity. Parentheses, and then boom. All right? You good? Okay. So 24 less than or equal to 3/8. What should I do? By what? 3/8. So what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation, right? So now I have, keep change flip, so 24/1 times 8/3, right? Less than or equal to m still. All right, what do I do after that? Multiply and then divide. All right, do that for me real quick. What's 24 times 8? 192. Okay. And then it becomes 64. Okay, thank you. When I divide this, it becomes 64. Less than or equal to m. And you already know. All right, I'm gonna make a number line. There goes your 64, less than or equal to, so I'm gonna shade over here. This is gonna be a bracket, interval notation, open parentheses, negative infinity. Wait, hold up. Let's realize that I messed this up. 1 second, hold on, I'm gonna mess this up. This is 64 less than or equal to m. Read backwards, it's m greater than or equal to 64. Sorry about that. So it should actually be this way. Right? That being said, it's also going to be a bracket. So this should be what? 64, bracket 64 to infinity. right? Sorry about that. Questions? Are we good? Hmm? Got you. That's all right. No worries. No worries. Before we look at another example real quick, just want to make a special note. All right, be careful when you multiply or divide by a negative number. Remember to reverse the inequality sign, right? When you're doing so. So let's take a look. So for A, right? I have negative 13m is greater than or equal to 65. What should I do? Help me out. Divide by close, by negative 13, right? But what I do to one side of the inequality, I have to do to the other side of the inequality, right? So now what do I have? M is negative 5, okay. What's the sign? No, 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 what is it? Less than equal to, very good. You tell me why did I do that? If you do multiplication division of what? Of a negative number, very good. Right. Mm-hmm. And then you already know the basics, right? So we're gonna do a little number line, call that negative 5, less than or equal to negative 5. So we're gonna shade over here, and it's gonna be a bracket, right? And this is gonna be open parentheses, negative infinity, up to negative 5 bracket, and that's it. Questions on it? All right, let's try B real quick. Sure. Go up, you said? This is good? Okay, I got you. All right, let's take a look at B. I have n over negative 2 is greater than or equal to 8. Help me, what should I do? Multiply by negative 2. Very good, right? So I'm going to multiply this by negative 2. Let's get rid of it on this side. But what I do to one side of the equation, for the inequality, I must do to the other side, right? So help me out. What do I have? I have n negative 16. That's how it's open. Multiplied by negative 2. Mm-hmm. So now you already know, right? We're gonna make a little number line right here. Call this negative 16. You already know this is gonna be negative 15, negative 17, less than or equal to. So we're gonna come off on the 16, boom. All of that. It's equal to, so it's gonna be a bracket. Right? We're doing this interval notation. Negative infinity, excuse me, open parentheses, negative infinity, up to negative 16 bracket. Questions on that? All right. There's no questions. You guys try. Hey, where are you? We're just trying out this question right now. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I would just recommend that if it's like the number that's on the left-hand side, read it backwards. That's it. Yeah, like it kind of helps you with drawing out everything. The correct term is mirror image. Yeah, if you guys get the gist of it, go ahead and start your homework. Yeah. After this, all I got is just more complicated examples. So, yeah. I don't even think it's that many questions today. I think it's like
More than, more than like 4 questions.
more than 4 questions.
It'd be like 1 question, got like 4 questions in.
Oh yeah, those joints be yeah. I don't mind those questions, but I hate when you got to get all four of them right. You know, yeah, that'd be the challenge.
Trying to do one to see, I got a first one.
Yeah, yeah. If y'all can't make the whole pantry thing tomorrow, you know they do it again on Thursday if y'all interested. Yeah. So
Yeah, this week. You bring up
yeah.
the food things. Wow.
Yeah.
The response score was so that there's one person free stuff, other person pantry.
Yeah.
9/11.
Oh yeah. I don't know what's happening on Thursday in terms of activities though. Last week I didn't really see nothing. But what we ever leave the rest of it? Yeah, but it's online. Yeah. You got the computer. I mean, the computer. Just logging on the computer. Yeah. So I was saying like we got class on Thursday. Just logging on the computer on campus, and just go there afterwards. Or if you got time, go before and then get home. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to log in for the homework.
So it's your first name and then your last name, all lowercase, one word, no space or anything in between, no dot, none of that. And same thing for the password.
Yeah, these are really unique.
And just do all of it.
All of them?
Yeah,
What was the one for today?
inequality one.
Oh.
All right, let's take a look. Yeesh, y'all gonna have to help me with this one. So for A, right, I got -8Q is less than 32. What do I do? All right, I'm gonna divide by -8. And what I do to one side of the inequality, I do to the other side of the inequality. So what do I have? So I have Q is what? No, greater than -4. Very good. And then you already know, we'll do a little lovely line right here, -4, call that -3, call that -5. It's greater than -4, right? So we're just gonna go this way, right? And then this is gonna be a parentheses, right? Interval notation, right? We're gonna be greater than -4, so we're gonna have open parentheses, -4 to infinity bracket. Questions? Oh, wait, what am I talking about? I'm sorry, parentheses. It's late in the day. All right, let's look at B. I have K over -12 is less than or equal to 15. What should I do? All right, multiply by -12. And then what do I have? K is, say it. Uh-huh. -180, okay. And then you already know all that -180. This would be -179, -181, right? Greater than or equal to, so we're gonna shade over here. Right? And then that is greater than or equal to, so bracket. All right, interval notation, open bracket, -180 to infinity, parentheses, done. Questions? That's fine. Yeah, all right, if there's no questions, let's do some more. So most inequalities will take more than one step to solve. We follow the same steps we use in a general strategy for solving linear equations, but make sure to pay close attention when we multiply or divide to isolate the variable. All right. So you want to solve the inequality 6y is less than or equal to 11y plus 17. Long story short, I want all my variables on one side, all my numbers on the other. Same thing, right? 6y less than or equal to 11y plus 17. So what should I do? Exactly, right? I'm gonna minus the 11y over here. What I do to one side, I gotta do to the other. So what do I have now? -5y less than or equal to 17. What do I do after that? By what? Exactly. I'm gonna divide by -5. What I do to one side, do to the other. So now I have y is what? Mm-hmm. 5, right? Very good. Excuse me. Mhm. Mhm. Excuse me. So now we already know. Make your little number line right here. -17/5. This is greater than, so we'll do one of these with a bracket. And then if we're doing interval notation, open bracket, -17/5 to what? Infinity. That's it. Make sense? Isolate the variable. That's the whole lesson right there. Solve for y. That's what that means. Solve for y. You guys try one. Give y'all a few minutes to try that. Yeah, please. I said all I got is more complicated questions, but y'all know the basics right now. Dang, like when class started, the high school got shot up. It's crazy. Nebraska, some school in Nebraska.
Today?
Yeah, like it happened while when the class started.
Georgia too, live 2 weeks ago.
A couple days ago. Yeah, yeah. It's messed up, man. I just want to know why they can't just do that in a video game and then just get that experience out and that's it. Why y'all got to do it in real life? You
No, they're not even talking details about the one in Georgia.
Yeah. I mean, when you got like a child, it's hard to release that information. They're not even.
They fired like an adult though.
Yeah, I heard that they gonna blame the parents.
I believe that.
Yo.
Is it one of their guns? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They go.
I mean, you legally you can't buy your own stuff. You know, like you're a minor. You know. Damn, man. Shoot. When I was 16, I could barely get McDonald's. Dang, man. Now up here though, at 16, all we got is a permit. Yeah. Hmm. We even got. Yeah. Interesting.
You're 9, you get a right to shoot theirs. They're shooting them, yeah, and you think anymore that's a mistake, but they.
I don't know. I'd rather just go to my supermarket and be like, yo, listen, butcher, let me get that. Let me get that leg cut up. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Let's see. So we want to solve this inequality. We got the 3Q. It's easy, right? Uh-huh. Go ahead. All right, so what we gonna do here? Very good. My fault. I gotta work on my handwriting. So what I got? This is negative 4Q is greater than or equal to negative 23. What do I do after that? Very good. Good. So what do I have now? Q. Nope. Less than or equal to? What? Less than or equal to what? No, just plain 23 over 4. Because a negative divided by negative, it's a positive, right? And then you already know, hold up, that's supposed to be a 2. You already know, make a little line. Call it a day. That's 23 over 4. This is less than, so we're just gonna shade over here. Right? It's gonna have a bracket because it's equal to, right? So interval notation, negative infinity to 23 over 4, bracket, call it a day. So we good? All right. Let's get more complicated. Why? Just because we can. But before we do that, give you a little special note. So when solving inequalities, it is usually easiest to collect the variables on the side where the coefficient of the variable is largest. This eliminates the negative coefficient, and so we don't have to multiply or divide by a negative, which means we don't have to remember to reverse the inequality sign, right? Just a little trick, just a little trick. Let's take a look. This probably is more complicated than your homework, but let's do it for fun. So we're gonna solve the inequality 8p plus 3 times p minus 12, in parentheses, is greater than 7p minus 28, right? So you already know I'm trying to solve for p, isolate the variable, all that good stuff, right? 8p plus 3 times p minus 12 is greater than 7p minus 28. What should I do first? Very good. Multiply by the 3. Very good. So I have 8p plus 3p minus 36 is greater than 7p minus 28. What do I do after that? Exactly, right? Combine like terms. So call that what? 11p minus 36 is greater than 7p minus 28. What should I do next? You wanna, not minus 36, plus 36, okay? And what I do to one side, I gotta do to the other. So now I have 11p is greater than 7p plus, what's that? 8. What do I do after that? Minus 7p, very good. What do I do to one side, do to the other? So what do I have now? So 4p is greater than 8. What do I do after that? Divide by 4. I do to one side, do to the other. So I got p is greater than 2. Very good. And then you guys already know, make a little number line. I'm sorry? Of a negative number. Yeah, the negative number. So I got my 2 right here. And you already know that's 3, that's 1, that's 0. You get the idea. This is p greater than 2, right? So I'm gonna shade. Whoops, what am I doing? Hold on. It is late. It's mad late in the day. All right, it is greater than 2, so we're gonna shade over here. Boom. Now, this is not equal to, so it's gonna be a parentheses, you already know. Boom. Interval notation, right? Greater than 2, so we're gonna go from 2, from parentheses up to infinity, parentheses. Questions on it? Right? Could all do this, right? I know y'all don't want to feel left out, so I'm gonna let y'all try one. Try that out. Y'all could be knocking out y'all homework. Rest of what I have is just harder and harder examples. Probably harder than the homework. They're harder than the test. Way harder than the test. More work on the test for you is more work for me.
Yeah.
But low key, like these hard questions is just for fun. Y'all excited for that debate tonight? Yeah. Yeah. I'm hyped, yo. Leaving here early, go get me some popcorn. Get some water in the fridge, some cold water. Might even get some chocolate. We want to. We're not done, but we want to.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Like I said, I just got like harder problems to try. You could do it on your phone though. Just log in on your phone. They actually updated the website for WebWorks, so it actually works really nice on your phone right now. Yeah, it's not how it used to be. I'm sorry? Hmm? Yeah. Yeah, just go on WebWork. Yeah. Yeah, that's the attendance over there, yeah. Oh, by the way, if y'all want to talk, go ahead. Like, it ain't no test or nothing. Y'all want to work together and stuff. No pressure, you know? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if y'all want to work together on the homework and stuff, like, I ain't stopping y'all, you know? All right, in the meantime, I'm gonna go over this one. So I got 9y plus 2 times y plus 6 is greater than 5y minus 24, right? So you already know we're going to distribute that 2 first. So now I have 9y plus 2y plus 12 is greater than 5y minus 24. Combine like terms, call this 11y plus 12. Sorry. 11y, 10, 11, yep, is greater than 5y minus 24. I'll put all my numbers on one side, all my variables on the other. I'm going to subtract 12 from here. What I do to one side, do to the other. Subtract 12, right? And then subtract 5y from over here. What I do to one side, do to the other. I'm just doing this for space, right? So what's that? 6y is greater than negative what, 36? Then we want to divide by 6. When we do to one side, we do to the other. So y is greater than negative 6. And then you already know, make a little line graph right here. Negative 6 is right here. Call that negative 5, negative 7. Right? Looks better, right? And it's greater than negative 6. So you already know, greater than, we're going this way. Right? And then this will be a parentheses, right? Because this is not an equal to. So that being said, interval notation, we're gonna have open parentheses, negative 6, comma, right? Infinity, close parentheses. Questions? Okay. So just like some equations are identities and some are contradictions, inequalities may be identities or contradictions too. We recognize these forms when we are left with only constraints as we solve the inequality. If the result is a true statement, we have an identity. If the result is a false statement, we have a contradiction. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this question. Solve the inequality for 8x minus 2 times 5 minus x is less than 4 times x plus 9 plus 6x. You already know, right? Distribute, combine like terms, isolate the variable, and we're done with the question. All right, let's take a look. I have 8x, right? I'm going to distribute this -2 right here. Call that -10 plus 2x is less than, distribute this 4x plus, what's this? 99 is 18, what's that, 36? Plus 6x, right? Combine like terms, what do we have? 10x minus 10 is less than, what's this, 10x plus 36, right? Now we want to solve for x, right? So I'm going to subtract 10x from here. If I do to one side, I got to do to the other. So now I have -10 is less than 36. This right here is a contradiction. And we know it's not true, right? -10 is not, well, hold on. Let me say that in a different way, right? -10 is less than 36, right? So we have an identity here going on. So what this actually means? Let me just get down to the nitty-gritty, right? What this actually means is that this particular question doesn't have one unique solution, right? It has, well, not, let me not say one unique. It doesn't have a partial solution. It has all real numbers as a solution, right? So this is a true statement, right? -10 is less than 36. If this was interval notation, the answer here would be -infinity to infinity. All real numbers. There's no number that I can plug in here that won't work. All real numbers. That's what that means. All right? When you have a true statement. True statement gives you all real numbers. Right? False statement gives you no answers. Right? So no solution. That's the lesson here. All right? True statement, all answers. False statement, right? No solution. And if you were gonna draw this, by the way, it would just be, you would literally shade the entire number line if you were gonna draw this. Just to give you an idea, right? What this would look like. Say this was 0, this was 1, this was -1. The whole thing would shade. Right? Just to show you guys that. I don't think you have a single question on your homework like that, though. But for Math 30, this will help you out. Here's one if you guys want to try real quick. So first floor, yeah. There's like a staircase right here. If you just go right down that staircase, it's right there. All right, let's take a look. Try this color out. Okay. So long story short, we're gonna distribute, combine like terms, solve for B, all that good stuff, right? So I'm gonna distribute this -3 over here. I'm gonna distribute this 5. So now what do I have? 4B minus 9 plus B is greater than 5B minus 30 plus 7, excuse me, 5B minus 30 plus 2B. Sorry about that. Combine like terms, which is a fancy way of saying add, right? 4B plus B is going to be 5B minus 9 greater than 5 plus 2. What's that? 7B minus 30. 1 second. This is not writing. 1 second. Hold up. Just loading. Freezing on me. Sorry about that. Sometimes Microsoft will do that. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, you guys. All right, we back up. All right, sorry about that. Anyway, 5B minus 9 is greater than 7B minus 30. We'll go back to my color that I was using. All right. So now isolate the variable, right? I'm going to add 9 over here, and I'm going to subtract 7B just to illustrate what happens when you don't move it, when you move the larger one instead of doing the smaller one. So now what do I have? Oh, I forgot to add 9 over here. I should have what? Negative 2B is greater than negative, what is that? 21, right? So yeah, say it again. You're right, that should have been plus 3B. Whoops. You're right, this should be 7B. Whoops. So that means that that's gonna happen right there. I forgot to do that. Good eye, man, good eye. So that being said, -9 is greater than -30. No, because 5 plus 2 is 7, so 7B. Yeah. So is this a true statement? True. So what's the answer? Mm-mm. Negative infinity to infinity. Right. Right. And if this was a number line, this is 0, 1, -1, right? You would shade everything. The whole line gets shaded when you have this situation right here. All right. Let's look at one more example that we could like call it a day at that. All right. Before we do that, real quick, just special note. All right. So we can clear fractions and inequalities much as we did in equations. Again, be careful with the signs when multiplying or dividing by a negative. All right. Let's take a look at this last example real quick. Nothing crazy. Probably won't get to see this on the homework, so. So look, we want to solve the inequality 1/3a minus 1/8a is greater than 5/24a plus 3/4, right? And then as usual, graph the solution on the line, write the solution in interval notation, all that good stuff, right? So 1/3 a minus 1/8a greater than 5/24a plus 3/4. Okay. What do we want to do here? Okay, let's do that. So what's the common denominator here? 24, good. How do I change a 3 into a 24? Times 8, okay? What do I do to the bottom, do to the top? How do I change an 8 into a 24? Times 3, what do I do to the bottom, do to the top? 24 is itself. How do I change a 4 into a 24? Times 6, right? What do I do to the bottom, do to the top? And that's it. So now what do I have? I have 8, let's say 8a minus 3a all over 24 is greater than what? 5a plus, what's that? 18 over 24. Not bad, right? Multiply by 24 over here. That'll kill that. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So now you have what? 8a minus 3a is greater than 5a plus 18. Let me combine like terms. What's 8a minus 3a? 5a is greater than 5a plus 18. Awesome, awesome. And then now I'm going to subtract 5a because remember I want to isolate my variable, and what I do to one side I got to do to the other. Subtract 5a. So 0 is greater than 18. Is that true? False statement, right?
False.
So what does that mean? It's true, it is over. So what is that?
Over.
So when it's true, it's all right, it's infinity. So not the like what would be the reverse of that? Think about that. So negative infinity to infinity meant all numbers. That's when it's a true statement. So if it's false, what do you think that means? Not 0. 0 was in the other answer. Nah. Yeah, so that's like every number. You're close, right? No solution. That's it. Right? So when it's a false statement, no solution. That's it. You're not, that's not on your homework, but just for y'all knowledge, when y'all get to Math 30 and Math 31 and all that, y'all will see that. So that's it. Come sign attendance if you haven't signed it yet. Is anybody still copying? Can I take this down? All right, cool. I wanna start the recording, you know, so I could post that, see everybody Thursday. Remember pantry, Wednesday and Thursday.